Hello, everyone. We are actually going to be starting a new set of notes, even with a new table of contents. So this will actually be for try 2 table of contents. I'm going to be handing you guys one of these so you don't have to make this. But you're going to put your name on there, and we have, just like last time, we have the left side with our labs and projects, and the right side with the odd numbers is going to be our notes. So right away, our first page for our table of contents, this is our first page, starting over again, is our table of contents. So we put a page 1 down here, and I would write table of contents for page 1. 0 is this page over here, and there's nothing there, so I'm just going to put a little dash. On the back side of this is technically page 2. And we don't have anything there yet, but if we do put something there, we would write whatever that is over here. So that's our table of contents. So we're going to actually move to page 3, which is our first open page here. So I'm going to write page 3 on the bottom here so that it's labeled. I know a lot of people were forgetting to do that last time. So let's make sure we're doing that, because when we turn in our notes at the end, it's helpful to be able to organize them. So this is Cornell Notes, so let's set that up. So we have our line down the side here, 2 lines across the top, and our little section where we put our name. Please put your name. I don't know how many sheets I found, but it was a little ridiculous. 11, 4, 21, and then you could put what hour you have. So like if you have or like period 1 or period 2 or period 3, whatever, you would put that there. That's super helpful if there are people with the same name as you. So today's topic is going to be the water cycle. Super exciting, I know. I found a really cool water cycle song. I don't know if it's the same one that you think, but I like it, and we're going to listen to it later. Essential question, the EQ for today, is what makes up the water cycle? What makes up the water cycle? Question mark. So we're going to go over the basics of the water cycle, draw some pictures as well. To start off with, let's put the water cycle. What is the water cycle? What am I talking about? So let's underline it because that's our first vocab word. So the water cycle is water moving from the Earth's surface up into the atmosphere. So let's write that. Water moving between the surface of the Earth to the atmosphere. And remember that this is an imaginary dotted line that I do not cross with my definition, so that this really pops out. So that's our first thing, water cycle. So it's the water moving between the surface of the Earth to the atmosphere. And there is a certain way that it does that, and so we're going to go through those things really quickly. The first one we're going to talk about is evaporation. Evaporation. So evaporation, you probably know what this is in theory, but the definition we're going to use is a liquid. It doesn't always have to be water, but a liquid absorbs enough energy. Oops, I spelled that wrong. There's a U in there. Enough energy to become a gas. So let's say maybe I could draw a cup or something. Or a puddle. Let's say I have the sun. Doop, 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 doop. And I have the rays of sun. It's heating this up. Starting to get warm. And so then those water molecules get enough energy to escape. That's water. So that's evaporation. Okay. Another one you may have heard of, it's kind of the opposite of evaporation. It's called condensation. So condensation is where we take this gas and we turn it back into a liquid. So we're going to say water vapor changes into liquid form. Form of water. All right, so condensation. In this case, we could draw like a cloud. I'm gonna label that. It kind of looks like a D, but that's not cloud. You could also think about if I had a cup and it's like where you have it full of something really cold and it starts to like drip off the edge of the cup so it gets all dewy and stuff. So that's an idea. So that's condensation. It's turning from that water vapor in the air and it's like a gas. So maybe we should just do that. Gas into liquid. All right, so that's condensation. Those are two of the three. And the last one we're going to talk about is precipitation. So precipitation. And this is where we kind of get a buildup of this condensation and then it's going to fall. So we get these huge clouds and it's built up enough so that it falls out of it. So it's any form of water falling from a cloud. And there are four that we're really going to talk about. So the first one let's talk about is snow. Let's just put like a little line there. Then we have sleet and freezing rain. These are things we hear about pretty regularly. And then finally just regular rain. And there's some differences between all of this. So like for snow, for example, we've got our clouds and stuff up here. This is going to never melt. As it's falling. Obviously, if it hits the ground, it could melt, but as it's falling, it doesn't technically melt. Whereas sleet, it's starting off as snow, and then at some point, it melts. And so it's going to melt a little bit and then freeze again. And this is where we can get hail. So really small pellets of hail, like really small ones, are technically sleet, but as they get bigger, this is where we're going to get some hail. Freezing rain is going to start off as snow as well, but then that's going to melt, and then it freezes on contact. So if you've ever seen those pictures of cars where there's just a sheet of ice on them, that would be this freezing rain. And then obviously we have regular rain, and it just never freezes. So it has never been frozen. So maybe I should just make these solid. But that is it for the water cycle. Good luck.